Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Adjusting Success. We're going to put this on the Marketing 101 group. If you're not part of that, make sure you join that free group, Marketing 101 for chiropractors. But every Monday night, we are here on Adjusting Success at 9:30 p.m. Eastern to help you grow and scale your business. I know marketing is always the topic for growth and scaling in business because that's how we determine growth, and that's how we determine that that's how we're going to grow. And marketing has a large blanket across all business. I mean, marketing is everything: how you present yourself, your demeanor, your personality, the business cards you print, your brand, your mission, your values. All these things make up marketing. So there's a lot to talk about. That's why we talk about it each and every week. This week, budget. I think people don't really know what to spend. I think we're very reactionary, very emotional when it comes to spending. When things start to go down, we end up to panic and we end up spending more money, and to realize that it's futile to do that. And then when things are going good, we cash in and we save on the marketing dollars and we don't market. And that's what creates the ebbs and flows in business. So, a good colleague of mine asked earlier this week, he's like, hey, maybe, going through the stages of marketing budgets sounds great. And that was a great idea. That's not even my idea. Thanks, Dr. Dade, for that. That's a great idea. And let's do that. So if you have any questions, you can do this. It's live. These are on YouTube to go back and watch at any time. They're there forever, kind of like a vlog, really. But if you hop on to the question board here, that's why I'm looking at my phone to be on the Marketing 101 group, because I don't get those. But if you message and comment on YouTube or LinkedIn, I see them right here, and we can post those questions live and go through them. Otherwise, we're going to dive into marketing budget. A couple of videos ago, we talked about the 80-20 rule, right? Apparently, that applies across life and business everywhere. And when it comes to marketing, it's really 8 to 10% of your gross revenue. Now, you can break this down weekly, monthly, or annually. I like to do annually or monthly. That's a good way to look at the budget for marketing. So if you run a $300,000 gross revenue practice, your annual budget should be $27,000 to $30,000, 8 to 10% of that gross profit. The gross revenue. That's where it should be. So if you use the 10% to keep math easy, it doesn't matter where you're at, 100,000, 250,000, 700,000, 1.2 million, whatever it is, your practice is gross revenuing. That's what you're going to need. And you're going to notice the 8% being a natural progression as you grow and build a business. You just need to pour money into marketing to grow. More money, more problems. Probably shouldn't be referencing that guy right now at this time. But anyways, it's a song from the 90s, and it's absolutely right. But I think it naturally progresses over time that you end up knowing that you got to spend more money on marketing. So, a couple things. There's maybe 3 or 4 stages to business. There's startup mode. You're in the business plan mode, finding a space to practice. I mean, that startup mode to 90 days in. That's startup mode. Then there's the 3-month mark to maybe the two-year mark, and I call that the beginning of practice, the beginning of business. Startup mode is different. Startup mode is different than beginning, because what ends up happening is if you are in the beginning phases of your business, let's say within 12 months, and you made a mistake on your business plan and didn't incorporate marketing dollars, which most people don't add into there, which is funny. I think that should be a hefty portion of the loan to start your business. Equipment, staffing, lease, covering the lease for 12 months, those overhead things, and marketing should be in there. So if it's going to cost you $200,000 to start your build out, whatever's in there, $20,000 should be taken out. 10% should be taken out for marketing. 20%, 60%. I don't know. If I was starting when I started, we took out $150,000. $50,000 was for marketing. 33% of the total loan budget was for marketing. So, and that's, I think, the right way to do it. If not more, why wouldn't you budget more towards that to last you a longer period of time? That's where we get into trouble. So there's that startup mode. And then there's that first year of the 1 to 2 year of practice mode, where now you're implementing and you're getting into it and you're trying to get busier and busier each month. That's a different phase of business. Then the 3+ year mark, we use 3 because most businesses fail in the first 2 years across all industries, not chiropractic. So the 3+ mark is now, growth mode. So we're in growth mode, and that's another phase there where the 10% heavily rolls. And then there's scaling, which is the fourth mode of business. And scaling may surpass the 10% mode there. So what ends up happening with a lot of the questions that we get and a lot of the problems that happen with marketing is that, let's say we are doing $250,000 and we don't feel like we have $25,000 a year to spend. We don't have that $2,000 a month to spend on marketing because our overhead at 250,000 is 200 or 190. Or if you include your salary in there, it's $248,000. That's your overhead, and the business made $2,000 at the end of the year. So you're like, man, I am spending every penny the way it is on utilities, lease, my 1CA, my salary, overhead, pay back my student loans. We get this. And you're like, that's 2,000. So I'm not quite at that 10% mark, but I'm, close to that 8% mark. And that's where we run into problems. And we get stuck in that phase. And the issue with that is if you don't market properly, there is a proper way to market, is you get stuck in that phase. I'm going to put up my hand as a personal testimony for 10 years, thinking next year will be the year. We're going to break out of this. We're going to grow. We're going to break that ceiling. And you're stuck at 90 visits a week for 10 years. Mine was 160. Stuck there until you started to make a couple changes in your marketing. And believe it or not, it wasn't more dollars into marketing and more Facebook ads. And I was building my practice well before Facebook ads. It wasn't more of that. It was actually more investing into myself. And that's a different video for a different time with coaching or implementing or new systems or whatever it is, going out and learning, always learning and growing. That's where that happened. But when it comes to marketing, the biggest mistake is not making a budget for it. And you need to do that. You need to do that because if you trust how business works, you would sacrifice some of your income, if you can, towards marketing. You would do that to grow the practice. Financial and savvy people might say that's not a good idea, but business-minded people always reinvest into their business. So if you're in that beginning, the phase 1 or phase 2 of business, the startup mode or within that 2-3 year mark, and you're stuck there and you're like, man, that hits home. That's serious right there. That is exactly where I'm stuck. You even said 90. That's exactly where I'm at. I'm at 90 visits a week. I can't break it. When we have a record week, we get to 110. All of a sudden we're back down to 87 and we just keep bouncing because we hit the ceiling and we just don't realize we're creating this glass ceiling on our business that we can't always see. But we feel it when we hit it because things spiral out of control. You don't have enough staff and you realize that the hard way. You start getting busy. Each day is busy. You're missing phone calls. You're missing voicemails. You're missing emails to get back to potential clients. You're definitely not getting referrals, or you're dependent on referrals so much that the other things are not happening. Like, I need to hire someone. So that's the pains of the beginning, the phase 1 and 2 mode. The growth and scaling mode, what can end up happening there is you can overextend yourself there. You start to learn those habits. You start to learn what got you the success. And then you start to pre-hire. You hire people ahead of time, what we did in 2024. Then you overstaff your businesses. That will trickle over time to cause more problems. So those are the issues, and that's all marketing, right? That's all marketing. Even though it trickles into payroll, even though it trickles into this, it can suffocate the marketing budget. So a healthy rule is the 8 to 10%. I like it because it can set simple systems and procedures for marketing in your business, knowing that from last year, we did 332,000. We're like, this year we're going to spend $30,000 on marketing to maintain our business and where we're going, right? And it could grow if everything just works out. If the marketing dollars work out and we can minimize the cost per acquisition or the cost per new patient. That's what we fine tune our marketing on. We double down on the things that work and we eliminate the things that weren't as good. So maybe we eliminate Google ads, maybe we eliminate the budget, or we cut it in half because we're like, listen, it's really not producing. We're going to take, half of that budget and move it into referral marketing. We're gonna direct mail all of our new patients from now on. We're gonna create this whole system. If you guys have followed me, you know what the system is. You send them a gift card, a welcome letter, gift of health in the mail after they start. Then you send them a follow up, something in the mail before they finish their plan with you. And I don't care if you do 12 visit plans or 120 visit plans. Before they finish that care, they get something else in the mail to stimulate referrals. So that's marketing. What's it cost? An envelope, postage stamp, some paper and some ink, and a $5 coffee card somewhere. What is that? $6? Not even $6 to send that out per new patient. You get 20 new patients a month. It's $120 in marketing. You can't do anything cheaper than this. So direct marketing can be the most cost effective. Then next in line, Facebook ads. You can get acquisitions from anywhere between $8, $9, $10, $11. These are the records. Most people are around 20 something, $30 per acquisition for a lead, different than a new patient. Then you take the conversion from that and figure out what your new patient is. So the 8 to 10% rule goes across all 4 levels of business, no matter where you're at. Questions, if you have any, go for it. Let me check the live. Sometimes people post on there. We can answer any question. You can completely turn this this whole conversation to the left if you like, and we can talk about anything. We can talk about hiring, firing, Facebook, whatever you guys want. That's what I'm here for. Whatever you guys want. Anything comments on here? Okay. How do you drive internal referrals? Great question. How do you drive internal referrals? So more like referral marketing, and I'm glad I touched on that a little bit. You just have to ask. We get comfortable in practice in a year or 2 or 15 or 25. We get comfortable in what we do. And what that ends up doing is we forget to just ask for referrals. It's the best way to get referrals. And table talk matters, especially this time of the year. If people are coming into the office and you're like, "Hey, who are you voting for?" Yeah, that's pretty stupid table talk. That's not a good table talk. It should be, how is your health and wellness going? What are you doing to move it in the right direction? And how can I help you today to facilitate your health and wellness moving in the right direction? That's the only 3 conversations you should ever have with patients, because it guides the conversation and keeps the ball in your court. If you're talking about the Tampa Bay Bucks and, the New York Jets and all this stuff, it's not going to do anything for your practice. So having that table talk is where you go through this, and just asking people, being like, "Hey, how's the care that you've been getting here?" Whether they've been a practice member at your office for years or they just kind of started to get some results. They're both winners. If they've been with you for a while, you directly ask them to be like, "Hey man, you've been coming to our office since we started 7 years ago. What keeps you coming back? Or what do we do that keeps you coming back?" You'll be surprised. They want to tell you this. They want to make your day. But then you just finish that with, "Hey, who else do you know that could use that type of service or healthcare? Here's 2 business cards," hand it out to them. And then that's just your moment of getting them to think about you a little bit more in the next 2, 3, 4 hours once they're out. Maybe they remind you. Your patients that love you. They talk about you often. You don't have to worry about that. But stimulating them and giving them the card, the physical thing, ends up passing it out. They end up passing it out, or they might be out of cards, but "Oh, doc, I need a card." Getting reviews is great too. And then that direct mail marketing is so good. Once you get the referral, sending them a thank you card saying, "Hey, Mary, thank you so much for referring Sandy to our office. She actually came in. It's wonderful. Keep up with her. Let us know how we're doing. And here's another gift of health for another person." Maybe throw in 2. And they get that with another Starbucks gift card. If they've referred 3, 4, 5 people, man, maybe you're giving them a $50 Target gift card. Maybe because they've been a patient at your office for so many years, that they love the steakhouse downtown. You give them a $100 gift card to the steakhouse. You make their month when they get this. They open up in the mail. Oh my gosh, another thank you card from the doc and the team. And it's different every time because they keep referring. So you stimulate that. Then it becomes this thing. They're like, "Man, I get to stimulate things." And because I do this video, some of you take advice and you go to these companies and you hire them. And just last week, I've got a few of these from Inception. They do chiropractic websites. and they send me a $200 Visa gift card. I was like, wow, I just made $200 today. What is this from? And then they send you an email and they tell you, hey, um, Dr. So-and-so said you refer them to us. And it was like a client from a while ago. And they were like, they switched their websites and now they're using them, but they said, who referred you? They put my name down. I was like, wow, I've gotten a few from inception. That's pretty cool. So referrals go along. So guess what? If any of you ask me, hey, what website company do you recommend for good SEO and good online presence that actually helps facilitate the marketing that I want to achieve? Who am I going to say? Inception, right? Not because they have been good. That's why I've always told them. But now that they keep facilitating my subconscious with $200 gift cards, I'm like, oh, maybe I can get 10 of these. This would be great. That'd be Christmas paid for by Inception, right? Pretty cool. So these things play a big role. And a $5 gift card, a $10 Target card, whatever these be, and it gets more sweet when you know what they like. If you know that where they eat, or if they're big, like around here, around Tampa, a lot of families like Disney or Universal. Getting something or the movies, you get them like a family $100 thing to the movies. Man, that's pretty cool. They love that stuff, right? And yes, you're allowed to do it. Stop with the stupid Stark stuff. So direct mail, because you have that information, you can go straight to their home with this. And when they see your logo on there, they're not throwing it in the garbage, because you don't send them spam. You never send them spam. So they get something from the office. They may think it's a bill, but other than that, it's from the Cairo office and you're a cash office. So why would it be a bill, right? Makes sense. And if you're not, it's okay. You probably don't send very many bills. Do you say you send every new patient a gift card and a gift of health? Yes, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. Every patient gets a welcome letter. If you go to the Marketing 101 group, and under files, you'll see pictures, videos, files. Click the files. There's only like 10 things in there. One of them is the SB letter, Starbucks letter. You guys can call it anything you want. Download it. It's a Word document. Change it. That letter welcomes them to chiropractic. Tells them that healing takes time. Thanks for joining us. You're on a journey with us. We are committed to your health, and we're going to guarantee you results. You're going to get results if you stick with this. And in the meantime, relax, calm down, enjoy a coffee on us or a tea, and go here. And we use Starbucks just because we're in a big city and they're everywhere. So it doesn't matter where they live. It's great. I've tried the local mom and pop things. I asked them, hey, we've sent out 100 gift cards to your place. How many have come in? They're like, oh, 8. I'm like, what are they doing with the rest? Because people don't know where they are, or they're driving in the opposite direction and never go to that mom and pop shop. So we've tried that. But anyways, I digress. They get the letter. And then in there, we have these 2 gift of health. They're printed just smaller than an envelope, so they fit in the envelope. And they're on a cardstock, a little bit thicker. And it literally says gift of health on it. It's got the things on it. Come on in for a half off new patient exam or a free exam, whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with in your office. We've tried both. We do the 50%, works great. Get half off an exam. They come in, they spend $100 for their referrals. They love it. It works really well. 2 of those, a Starbucks $5 gift card and the letter, goes out to every new patient that comes into our office. Yes, been doing it for years. And I don't take credit for it. It's Dr. David Jackson taught me. Make sure. Am I cutting out? Good. No, you guys can still hear me, but it is a little glitchy. Then before they finish care, so if we sign a 24 visit care plan, a 36 visit care plan, those are our 2 most common. If they get a 36 visit care plan, somewhere between visit 28 and 34, we make sure that something goes into the mail to stimulate a Google review and 2 more gifts of health. It's almost the same thing again. You can skip the gift card. They open that. But in the meantime, if they're sending out referrals, we have people that are on their like 50th referral in 7 years. Like, I mean, these guys get gift baskets to the house. We go to gift.com or swag.com. We send them something bigger, Stanley mugs, like whatever, something to say thank you for your time. But yes, you mail it out to everyone. And this becomes a system in your office, systems and procedures. The system is what I just explained. The procedure is documenting when it goes out, having a spreadsheet in the office, which we do. We have a master Excel spreadsheet that reloads every year. Every single new patient is on there. And then my front desk staff highlights it: orange, yellow, green, I think red. And they all mean something. Green, signed a care plan, ideal client, did everything. We love them. Orange, signed a care plan, but didn't finish for some reason. Red, didn't sign a care plan, didn't like us, whatever. Yellow, signed, but didn't stick to care, kind of missed, and whatever. But we keep track of all of them. But in there, in each line, is their name, phone number, email, exam, X-ray, gift of health. Did they get the gift of health? The Starbucks letter, progress exam 1, progress exam 2, re-X-ray, mailer, another one, finished care, something along that line. And that's it. And then January 1st, brand new Excel sheet. And then you can just see at the end of the year, 621 new patients. You're like, okay, let's go through all of them. Where are they at? Do we need more new patients next year? These systems turn into procedures, and your procedures turn into better systems. It's a positive feedback loop. And then as you start to get good at things and faster with things, and you tweak things, you can eliminate steps within your procedures to make things more efficient. That just takes time. That's why you can't go online and buy the chiropractic office manual. There's no such thing. Every office is run a little bit different. And sometimes you don't like to do some certain things, so you just omit them or you don't do them. And that's okay too. But are you omitting things because you're lazy, or are you omitting things because you don't want to do them and you don't feel like they're going to be necessary in your office? Those are things to remember when we market. Yeah. Great question. Good job, Dr. Jamie. Perfect. Anything else on there? Anything on YouTube? No. So the 8 to 10% rule, that's internal referral marketing. Getting a lot of messages in the last 2 weeks, more so than ever. Hey doc, just checking in on you, me, right? They're like, how have you been doing? Have you noticed a decrease in patient volume, a decrease in new patients, a decrease in phone calls, a decrease in emails, almost like a collective thing. And it doesn't matter how I answer it. They're all like, whether I say yes or no, they're like, man, we're really noticing it. It's across the board. It's funny how business as a nation, as a global economy, can fluctuate with booms and recessions altogether. And folks, I've been saying this since beginning of 2023. We are in a recession. Now we are in the recession, right? Not just massive inflation. The economists were holding shy last year on officially announcing a recession, but every financial paper, Wall Street, everyone else is saying we are. But because the stock market was going up, and it still is, still revving, right? They can't officially say it's a recession, but it absolutely is, because the markets are different than the people, and the people are tight wallet right now. You know this. It's harder to sell a care plan. It's harder to get people to. I haven't had so many people in the last 6 months be like, okay, I need that. How much is it? Right? They're wondering how much everything costs. Before, they wouldn't ask. They would go to the front and figure it out there and pay for it. Now they're going straight to the doctor. They're like, great, is that? Before I say yes, how much is that? It's 50. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Let's do 50 times 8. We gotta do like 6 to 8 visits. They're like, oh shit. It's happening. It's happening. So that's the truth of where we're at economically. Everyone's feeling it. You're feeling it. You play all cool in the office and you go home and you bitch about the grocery store. I just got out of Costco yesterday for $428. I'm like, what the frick? But yeah, we're all there, right? So your patients are there too. And that's going to trickle. It's going to be harder to sell, harder to convert, which at the bottom line makes your cost per acquisition go up. So your marketing dollars are reaching less conversions, and therefore your bottom line goes down. How do you compensate for that? Increase marketing. But doc, I got no money. Well, yeah, because you didn't listen to me last year or you didn't listen, or you just, you didn't do it, whether it was me or whatever, or you missed it. Maybe you opened up your practice, right? How many of you opened up a practice in 2019? Oh, that was great timing, right? With 2020. That's when I was doing the Florida thing. But yeah, we get it, right? So that's internal. External marketing can be a whole bunch of things. The smartest way to move forward with marketing, that's the next question somebody should ask. What do you recommend for 2025, Enrico? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. 2025, you're going to have to create a very in your community. And I should emphasize community more than brand. You are going to need to lead a community moving into 2025. You have to become the community leader, because what you're going to see now in the next 2 years is others are going to take realm of community leadership. They're going to bring back the barbecue festivals, the music festivals. They're going to lead, and they're not going to be the major producers and the major players. It's not going to be Heinz 57 coming out making the barbecue festival, or whatever major music festival coming out doing music festivals, because everything's becoming so expensive. It's going to be the local dentist who comes out and does the big local festival for the town. And now they're going to solidify that and become the major sponsor of that and become the thing of the town. We've lost community. It's a chance to rebuild community. It's kind of like having investment in gold, and COVID decreased the investment in it, where you thought it was $1,000 an ounce, and now it's $100 an ounce, and everyone's catching wind. They're like, well, if I get into this now at $100, it's going to go back up to 1,000, right? Or 2,000. And they're absolutely right. Cash in now on community, because it's going to be the future. It's going to be the very close future in the next 2 years. You should be doing it now, building community. This is why we didn't let go of a lot of the things we were doing. And Kids Day Tampa Bay, we forged through COVID with it. We were the crazy clinics that did this. I remember the comments on the Facebook post was crazy. I didn't know people could be so mean. But like, we're going to kill kids, right? Because we're doing a festival or whatever, Kids Day. So we're doing, and now that things are normal again, we're the only people doing it. So building community is the way to move forward. I cannot tell you exactly what to do in your towns, but you know your town's better than anyone else. That's what you need to do. And pick something you enjoy. If you don't like kids, don't do petting zoo for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what it is that people want to see. A car show, the local car show, vintage cars have to be, from the 20th century, cannot be 21st century, right? Cars at this area that you team up with, whatever, a mechanic, another business that owns a parking lot that's bigger than yours, whatever it is. And you do the local car show because you love cars. And two, you want to bring that to the community. And your ideal client is someone who owns a 2025 car and a 1977 Grand Am, or whatever, 1977 Thunderbird, or whatever it is, or Corvette. And they want to come show it off. You got to think about this stuff, right? Cars, barbecue festival, wherever you live. If you live down here in the South, bring back barbecue festival. I'm thinking about that. How do we do that? But we got such great barbecue. Wouldn't make sense to have a chiropractor doing that. So build community moving forward is the answer to all of this for that. Facebook will still be here. Instagram will still be here. Google will still be here. But you're going to see the way things are going with Google. They are really constricting health clinics, health across the board. They're tired. They're actually, if you're a conspiracy theorist, they're actually silencing health. Google is in the health business now. You know this, right? I forget their names. The people who own Alphabet, the wife, 23andMe, DNA, data, billions of people, hundreds of millions of people. They have this source now. Again, they took the concept of Google to say, hey, let's be the first search engine, and everyone will ask us questions, and we will get the answers to all the questions before anyone else. So they beat Bing, Yahoo, all that stuff, and they become the number one with all the information. Now they own all the information. They can control the information. They took the same concept 10 years ago with, hey, let's get everyone's DNA. Same thing. and then who they sell it to, whatever happens next. But there you go. Now they have everyone's human genome version there too. Pretty crazy stuff. So they're at the forefront of that, just copy and pasting the same recipe that created Alphabet, that created Google, that created 23andMe, and whatever is coming next with AI. They're just ahead of it. Then money is worth more than money, because you can sell information if you have it. So you now have the information of what to do next. It's thinking about community and how to get them together. The smart thing to do would be to figure out what your ideal clients are into, see what matches or resonates with you that you agree with, and make that the community event for your town. That's the magic in there. Because if you're a super nerd and you like Star Trek and you do a Star Trek convention, you might not get too many people showing up to that. So be careful with what resonates with you, what resonates with your community. Like me, big hockey fan. What am I going to do with, in Florida with hockey? You put out a rink in the parking lot, it'll never freeze. It's never going to work. So you got to think about your community and your ideal client. So what are you going to do to build that community through there? It's nice when it interties with your brand and everything else, but I've seen people for shows. Well, I'm just bourbon tasting, bourbon, consume alcohol or sugar, right? That's never good health advice for your patients. But I've seen people, in Oklahoma doing bourbon taste, and it's huge every month. They got like people that show up all the time. And you think it's the dudes that show up? No, it's their wives that show up and become new patients. So maybe some of the guys do too. But they like bourbon. They do the bourbon thing. They met friends that own distilleries, and that all becomes a thing. But it all depends on your community too, and what people love. So think about the community thing moving forward. Great. Any other questions? Marketing, growth, hiring, scaling? If you do, you can reach me anytime. But that's what Adjusting Success is all about. The Marketing 101 group, over 1,000 DCs in that group. That is super cool. Be part of that and ask questions in there. And you can reach me anytime at info@enricod.com. info@enricod.com. And I'll respond to you with the same business day. I love this stuff. And to your success, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't do what you do, the people don't have anywhere to go. So keep it up. Take care. Have a great week. Something's happening tomorrow. I don't think it's important or anything, but enjoy that shit show. Okay. Good night.